Hi, welcome. My name is Dan McCluskey. I'd like to take a couple minutes to discuss the issue of the crate, how it's used during the role-changing process, and to provide you with a little deeper insight about how to use the crate if you're seeking to put a structure in place which will help to change out the roles. So basically, I realize a lot of people have can have a very negative opinion about the crate, and what you're going to see here, even through my system of training, is that it's all about how you think. When you look at the crate as as just a tool, a role-changing tool, and beyond that, when dogs don't want to be in a crate, it really is more about how you're perceived through the relationship side of this than merely the crate itself being a place to isolate or a negative type of thing. Because what I show clearly is how a dog's mind reacts. It really does pivot off the roles themselves, the perception, how you're perceived within that context of the roles, of the pack roles. So that what you have to really understand here is when you're using a device such as a crate is associated to control and to authority, because it controls mind and body. So therefore, if a dog has the lead role within the pack relationship, and you're perceived as being their follower, basically, then they're not going to accept that having the crate being used that way, because to them it doesn't make sense. Okay, that they're not connecting the dot, because everything, what I show here, everything pivots off the relationship. Dogs will connect certain dots, including the crate, within the context of the roles, with this perception of where they're at. So therefore, when you see a dog really kicking up inside a crate, they're not in there as a follower. Okay, therefore, they're going to resist. They're going to challenge being in there, and that's why it's important when you're using or starting off and you're looking to impact the dog's decision making. You want to use the crate in a way that's going to help you. How I use the crate is meant to put a structure in place. It's meant to control bad outcomes. And it's part of the role-changing process. So, how you use a crate is not even meant to be a forever thing. It's not meant to as a negative punishment, with the dog. I know that's how it's perceived, but you have to see it in the context of the role-changing process itself. So, because what you're doing is basically, once a dog has a certain level of power, especially when using a crate as a tool within a context of a intervention, once the dog has a level of power, then I'm using it to help to control bad outcomes. Because if a dog is aggressive, then what I'm doing is I'm shrinking their world temporarily, so that I'm starting to break down the wall, so to speak. So a dog isn't just roaming around and hanging out in areas where they're able to express power. I'm going to shrink their world while I'm role changing them. So once they're a follower, their world's going to expand again as the decision making process is impacted. So the whole issue of a crate, you have to look at it again from psychology, from how people think, because it's one indicator. When someone looks at the crate as being cruel or punishment, that really represents that owner is expressing a certain level of emotional thinking, which is part of the bonding process and the type of foundation stones that they've laid. And usually when you see that, there's a really good chance that that dog is holding a certain level of power, and that owner is being objectified within the relationship, so that of course the crate's going to not be accepted at that level. So it's all about, really is, I want to show it's all about how you think, and just something to think about, something to consider when you look at the crate. A crate is nothing more than a tool. It's a very effective tool, one that I recommend highly, that's being used. But again, it's used as a as part of the role changing process. So, because ultimately your goal is to have your dog, in the house as a follower. It's something that you may not, keep using, but again, it's just a tool. So anyway, thanks very much for watching. I hope you have a great day.